Good morning, Joshua. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback on your writing assignment number 2, the synthesis of literature review. You are off to a really great start. I love this topic, and I'm particular to it because I've been in education my whole life, and I'll share with you in K3 through 12 buildings, this is a hot topic. So it's not just in the workplace. You could even perhaps expand it to show how, the K through 12, meaning, pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, is utilizing or embracing this concept. I don't mean to scare you by saying that, but because you don't want to expand your research too much. So let me share with you what we do have so far. You have an interesting introduction. Here's what I'm going to recommend that you do. Remove this any first person reference about yourself. So standing desks have become more common in recent years, period. A review of literature shows 3 major categories support the use of standing desks, period. They health benefits, I'm not sure that, or the health benefits of using standard can go a long way in a workplace, something like that. But what I'm trying to share with you is to remove this first person reference. You want to make sure, because the purpose of that synthesis review of literature is you are synthesizing what other people have shown. And so while you have gathered it, you have to remove yourself from the reporting of this information. So when we have here, this is great. I love reading this information about health benefits. I'm bringing this to my superintendent that I meet with frequently. We'll be talking about your paper and these references. I want to draw your attention to your use of APA formatting. So here is a correct use. Here is not. So when you want to introduce the author's name, you put the date at the end of the sentence. So that end of the sentence would be here. So you would say, Schmerling also notes the assumption that standing desks have health benefits because long hours of sittings have been linked to the following, blah, blah, blah. And then 2016 right here before the period. So you've done it correctly here. Again, here you want to take this date and move it to the end of the sentence. So when you're doing in-text citation and you paraphrase and use the author's name at the end inside of parentheses, that's correct. But if you want to use the author's name in the statement, then you take the date to the end of the sentence. So I hope that clarifies that. One thing that I found was tricky for you to approach, and it was interesting, is because you really have what's called like reverse research. So there's not a lot of data out there to support these health benefits, but they do have lots of data in the opposite area. So wording that is a little cumbersome, and I understand completely why. What I recommend that you do is make certain that your sentence structure is short, sweet, and to the point. When you have what's called it's reverse engineering of proof. You're saying we don't have any evidence in this area, but we do have it in the polar opposite. So we're going to say, because we know this, we can draw conclusions in this area. And that's what it looks like your experts, your research has shown. So be very clear to avoid any confusion. Use very short sentence structure. That's the best approach to what's conflicting research. So the same here I wanted to share with you. See here, you've done this correctly. This date needs to move to the very end. This date needs to move to the very end. The other thing that I want you to work to double check is subject-verb agreement. And as I say that, I wanted to pull up one sentence and I can't remember which one it is. Yikes. So you want to just double check sentence subject verb agreement. And when you have complex sentences, it's difficult to determine what the subject is in order to identify and make certain that you're using the same number for a verb or the same tense or the same number for verb. And then when you go down to this conclusion, here's what I want you to take a look at, that removing that first person. You're not arguing anything. You're not making any kind of position statement. At this point, you are simply reporting this is what has been provided, or this is the data that I have collected. So I hope that makes sense to you. It looks like, and it's helpful. I like how you've included the DOIs and make certain that you're referencing those. And I look forward to reading your final paper.